everybody, it's me, Insani-TAY. I'm back. I have been, I suppose, on hiatus from my plans, but I thought that I would do a nice little check-in video and tell you kind of where my brain's at and what I'm working on, how I'm feeling. First of all, I hope everyone's having a good day. I want you to go in the comments, mental health check-in. How's your mental health? But not just how's your mental health now. How about how's your mental health? What's your mental health goal? Like, what are your goals for life? For how you want to feel. Mine was always peace. I want to live in peace. That's all I want. I want my brain to be peaceful. I want my life to be peaceful. All that jazz. Right now, I just pulled up to the cemetery, and I'm going to get out and make this video and make some videos about this. I dropped a video on YouTube about my hometown. It's basically just an audiobook of me reading a book that someone wrote, and hopefully that'll do good. But I really am working on a documentary about Ontario, Oregon, and Malheur County, which is the county that it's in, and see where that goes. I think it'll be really fun. There's a lot of history around this area. There's some Malheur Butte. There's lots of abandoned places and old buildings and stories and stuff. So I think that might actually end up being like a documentary series, because I'm not very good at fitting things into, like, if I really want to go in depth about the city and the county, it's going to take more than one episode. Because I like to go in depth. But I'm going to grab my selfie stick and we're gonna go for a walk. I'm at the cemetery today. Hey. This is the first take one, episode 1 of my first actual intentional vlog, because I woke up this morning and realized that I've been unintentionally vlogging for years now, and I figure it's damn time I start doing it on purpose. If you don't know me, I am 34 years old. I'm a single parent in recovery from drugs and alcohol. I go by Tay, Taylor, pretty much whatever you want to call me. Insani-TAY is what I like to go by online. If you want to go by what my kids call me, Mom, but mostly they call me Bruh, so you can call me Bruh if you'd like. Look at this cool headstone mallet. I like to do things like this, like go explore cemeteries. I like to be by the river. Just like to be outdoors in general. And just raising kids, trying to survive. My dream is to be able to help people, to do videos and travel and help people across the country deal with stuff, because I deal with so much death and recovery from the drugs and alcohol and being a single parent and survived DV and all kinds of stuff. And because of my struggles, I have a gift, and I need to share that gift with people who need hope. Because if I could go through the things I have gone through, you can go through the things, whatever it is you can do. I have faith in you. It's probably going to suck sometimes, well, it will. But this too shall pass. Maybe like a kidney stone, but it'll pass. It's my favorite thing to say. My ex-husband's in jail. I don't get child support. I am currently, unfortunately, unemployed. I'm working on that. I've been trying. Started my own business, doing all these things. I just can't make money. Because you need money to make money, you know what I'm saying? I turn 35 next month. April 23rd is my birthday. I also was adopted at birth. I met my biological family when I was 30. My biological dad. My bio mom passed away before I was ever able to meet her. But I met my brother, and I've spoken to my sister online, which that was cool. Because before then, the first time I'd ever met anybody that was biologically related to me was when Olivia was born. And they put her in my lap. My oldest daughter, she just turned 14. I'm getting old. I grew up in a really small town in Idaho. called Garden Valley. Beautiful town. Definitely not what it used to be. My graduating class in high school was 16 kids. Both my kids are kind of extra needs, but so am I. I got ADD or ADHD and autism, which was late diagnosed when I was 33, which has been absolutely enlightening. I have been at the deathbeds of my dad, my best friend, and one of my other best friends. So I need to stop saying especially when I'm doing my podcast, saying spit it out, Junior. But I'm the most loving, caring, understanding, and empathetic human being, and I really want the best for people and myself. Sometimes I don't want the best for myself. Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. But I really do like to explore how cool that one is. My ex-husband, kids' dad, split up 10 years ago. But we didn't get divorced until 5 years ago or something. But so we finally got a child support order, even though we'd been split up for all that time. But part of that time I didn't have my kids, my mom did, and so I had to pay her child support. He was supposed to be paying, but he's always in prison or running the streets like an idiot. He don't work. And anyway, so today I get a knock on my door. It's a Sunday. Number one. Number two, nobody ever comes to my house. Don't come to my house. I don't like people at my house. Anyway, knock on the door. I answer, and guess what? It's the police. And even though deep down I was like, please take me to jail. I need a fucking vacation. I was like, oh shit. Here we go. Excuse me, what the F now? Dang it. And he serves me, and I'm like, what is this? Or he's getting the paperwork. I'm like, what is this? He's like, I don't know. I just know you're being summoned. It's a summons or something. Fuck. It's from the state of Idaho. Okay, I live in Oregon now. But he's incarcerated in Idaho. And that's where we got divorced and all that. So, it's so stupid. I look at this summons, and what it is that he's taking me to court to have the child support order changed so that he doesn't have to pay nothing. So he has to pay $0 because he's incarcerated, even though he's not paying any money. You know why that is? Because he thinks he's so fucking smart. Effing smart. And he thinks he doesn't, what it is he doesn't want to pay me back. He doesn't want to have to pay me back later on. Because that's kind of how child support works. It's like, you have to pay the back child support, even if the kids get grown. So he's trying to make it so that he don't ever have to pay me any back child support. You know what the dumbest part about it is that if he would call me and communicate and talk to me and say, hey, I was thinking about doing this so that I don't have as much child support when I get out of jail and blah, 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 I would have been like, okay, cool. Let's figure that out. Whatever. But no, he don't want to talk to me or nothing. He won't call. He won't talk to the kids. Nothing. He doesn't, he's been back in jail for quite a while now. And he's called twice. And one time it was my daughter's birthday, and his mom told him, you better call your daughter. But he could go deal with all this court stuff and, because I'm cool, okay? I put up with this guy way more than I should. He's not a good person. He's done horrible things to me, but he's the father of my kids. And as long as he and I are both alive, we have kids together, and we're going to have to, in some ways, deal with each other. Like, I'll tell you what, it's like he's suffering his consequences in prison. Yeah, right. I am suffering his consequences, and his kids are suffering his consequences. Like, and that's not just going to change when they turn 18. Like, but I get it. Like, he's trying to get off drugs, and like, that's hard, and reacclimating after prison, and they have you jump through all these hoops, and it's expensive, and blah, blah, blah. I get it. I had to pay child support for 3 years when I didn't have my kids, and my mom had them. And then guess what? I still had to pay back child support for like over a year after that, because, well, I had the kids and was supporting them on my own. It's fucking hard. The 3 years I didn't have them, no wonder I couldn't get on my feet. They were taking half of my paycheck plus $1 every paycheck. Anyway, that's what happened this morning. And then, I think it was the day before yesterday, my dog got hit by a car. She's the best dog. My best friend Deb passed away in 2019. It was exactly a year and a day apart from when my dad died. A year later. But we inherited her dog, her blue heeler, Maggie May, when she died, and the dog got hit by a car, and we had to have her put down. And it was awful. My daughter sobbed. She came with me and was in the room. I was very proud of her, because she hasn't really been around that. You know, I grew up in the mountains and around animals, and we had livestock and stuff like that. And so I was around death, like having animals put down or them just dying or whatever. But my daughter has never been around that. So I was proud of her for coming in the room when we did that. But also, it's hard. I kept it together until they actually put the heart stopper stuff in her. It was very comforting, though, to know that she was going to be with Debbie. Like, so I kept telling Olivia, I'm like, she's okay, her spirit. She's going to Debbie right now. Like, Debbie's waiting for her. And that was very comforting to me, so. Yeah. What else happened this week? Oh, and then, so we went and we had to go out to Vail to have her put down. But we, on our way back, I decided to take the long way, the back roads, and look at old buildings and stuff, and we found some really cool ones. There's one old farmhouse that had a mushroom spray painted on the side of it, and I was like, oh, that was the first one we stopped at. I was slamming on the brakes, breaking my neck looking at that. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna go investigate that situation. But I'm trying to get a lot of pictures and video and stuff because I'm working on doing a documentary about Malheur County and Ontario and Vail, and because there's a lot of history here, and I'm here so I can do a documentary on it. And if I could make documentaries about stuff, I love history and I love exploring, and like all these old houses, like the Mushroom House and then the other places we stopped. I just want to know their history. Like, who lived here? Like, why is it in a wreck now? What happened? How long have they lived here? Was there something built here before that? Like, it's just really fascinating to me. And there's a lot of material around here for that. But I don't know. I went to another cemetery and walked around last week. And then I got a dead battery in my car. Then it was like getting late, about ready to get dark. And I'm like, oh, and there's no one in the cemetery, right? So to put an SOS out on Facebook. Thankfully, I have the nicest people. Oh my gosh. I have the best people on my Facebook. I posted like, hey, I might have a little bit of money. I need to buy a tire because my tire is, oh my gosh, you guys. I gotta show you. It's so bad. This was really cool. I posted a job or a work ad on the local Facebook groups about if someone wants to pay me to walk with them, I could be a people walker. or pay me to talk or walk or talk, whatever, with them, for whatever reason, for motivation or loneliness or safety or whatever. And I can't believe how many people have liked and loved that post, and how many strangers were like, wow, I actually really love this idea. Like, I honestly was kind of worried about getting some flack about it, and I got the opposite, and it's, like, amazing, because if I could do that, that would be so good. Like, another thing I want to do is be, like, a hospice helper kind of a person when someone's getting ready to pass away. Like, I can go help or be there for them and kind of coach them through what happens, and just the grieving process, or the, like, pre-grieving before they even die, and, like, getting things arranged, and just a support person to be there, because that's a really hard time, and I feel like I'm gifted in that department. I think a little bit of it might be the autism, because I'm, like, brutally honest, and when someone's dying, like, that's what everybody needs, is honesty, not beating around the bush, not, oh, everything's gonna turn out, like, reality check. But also, I'm very empathetic and kind, and so I think that's something I really want to do. I just don't know how to go about it, because I don't want to be a nurse. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, for the emotional, whatever, support part of it. And not to say I want to give anybody a hug, but, like, I don't really like touching, and I don't, like, I'll hold hands or I'll hug or whatever, but I don't want to be a nurse that has to, like, diapers and stuff like I can't do it. If it was somebody and I mean, it's not to say I wouldn't grow to love that person in hospice, because sometimes it takes, I mean, it's not always like, oh, you're in hospice, it takes a while. I don't want to change diapers and stuff, and have to touch anybody for those reasons. But yeah, I think that would be, like, the perfect career for me. And, like, that would go into my traveling around helping people, because if, like, I could just travel around the country and go to whoever needs me next and help them. I don't know, that's really just a huge dream of mine. I'm gonna get there, though. I'm bound and determined. That's part of why we're doing this vlog right now, because I need to intentionally vlog, because I got a lot to say. But these little mini tidbits and stuff over on TikTok are not cutting it, so it's to the YouTube. Also, the, what's it called? My podcast on Spotify, which you should check out. And I'm sorry, but I can't manage, when the camera's sideways, I can't manage to look in the right spot. So, you're gonna get me looking over here, because I got the tism, and it just makes me more comfortable. Yeah. And always, like, if you have more questions about anything I talk about in my life, like, I want to share, like, ask me, ask away. I am an open book. I'll tell you anything. I've learned that sharing takes the shame away from things. Like, we hide things and we're ashamed of them, but if we tell everybody about it, the shame just goes away. It's a weird phenomenon, but it works, I'm telling you. Should give it a shot sometime. How many times have you walked through a cemetery in the hail? Today's the day, buddy. It's hailing, it's snowing. The old man is snoring at the cemetery. How cool that one is. One thing's guaranteed: if you come out to the cemetery when it's hailing outside, you'll probably have it all to yourself. And also, by the way, if you're looking for a quiet place to go, like, if you kind of want to go to the park, but not really, because you want to go to the park because you just want to be outside and, like, grounded, but there's just too many freaking people at the park, highly recommend cemeteries. Even if there are other people here, they won't bother you or be making loud noises. And you literally can just hang out at the cemetery for hours. Like, Nobody will mess with you. As long as you're respectful, like don't come out of cemetery being a fucking hooligan, please. And ruin it for the rest of us. But I really got into hanging out at cemeteries when I quit doing dope, and I needed, I don't know, I was just looking for somewhere calm where no one would bother me. And I found that it's extremely grounding to come to the cemetery, like humbling. Like, humble yourself, because we're all going to be in the grave one day, or ashes, or whatever we choose. Which, by the way, while we're on that subject, if you don't have an advance will and directive written out, you probably should do that. They don't care how young you are. The will, if you don't have kids or whatever, you don't have any big assets, wouldn't worry about that so much. But if you don't know what an advance directive is, I'm going to tell you right now. It is what guides what they do if you have a medical emergency and you can't speak for yourself. Okay? So say you get hit by a car or struck by lightning and you're in a coma, but you're brain dead and you're on a life support machine. And they say you're never going to come back and be normal again, right? What would you want them to do? Would you want to stay on life support as a vegetable for another 40 years, or do you want them to pull the plug? That stuff. Or would you want them to keep you alive? What are your wishes? Because if you don't have a significant other that's in charge that knows exactly what you want, that's also kind of a hard conversation. Like, you need to make sure that it's written down. And I think all the states have a registry. You can get online and register it. But share it with people you love, or at least say like, hey mom, or hey friend, something happens to me, my advance directive is in my safety deposit box, or whatever is somewhere stashed that you can find it. Just make sure it's somewhere they can actually get into. But it's important, and it's not even just for you, it's for the people around you, because like I had to make those decisions for my dad without knowing what he would want, and he didn't have one, and that put a lot of pressure on me. So, and when I was already under a lot of pressure because he was dying, you know what I mean? Like, it's a good thing to do. And also putting somebody as your person, your emergency contact decision maker. If you're not married, like somebody that would do the right thing for you. Basically somebody that would do what you would do if you were not pent up and unable to speak for yourself. Like, with that person, so say that person is your best friend, okay? And you have a girlfriend and you've been with her for years, but you go into a coma and your best friend is in charge of your things, even your medical care, even though your girlfriend has been with you for 2 years or whatever. And so you need to pick a best friend that, even though maybe you don't get along with your girlfriend, he's gonna let your girlfriend be with you in the hospital. Because like when my dad got sick, it was during COVID, when it was really like everything was shut down, and we were only allowed to have one person in the room a day. It's like that person could go and be there all day, but we couldn't switch at all. And so even though I hated his girlfriend, I knew that he would want his girlfriend to be there with him too, so we switched every other day. Even though she's evil and she screwed me after he died, it doesn't matter. I'm glad I did that because that's what he would have wanted, not versus what I would have wanted. You know what I mean? That's the kind of person you need to have as your emergency contact / decision maker. And it's not really power of attorney. You can do power of attorney, but medical power of attorney is different from regular. And I'm not even giving you this advice for legal reasons. Like legally, I don't know what I'm talking about, but for emotional, emergency, legitimate reasons, I think that it's important to protect yourself and protect the people you care about. And I hope for everybody, with my heart of hearts, that everybody has at least one person they can trust to make those right kinds of decisions for them. I mean, in my heart, I want to believe that, but unfortunately, I feel like there's probably a lot of people that don't have somebody like that, and that's really sad. But I feel like, I hate to say this, but I feel like you have to be that kind of friend to have that kind of a friend. And I feel like some people, sorry guys, pets, but you guys are not loyal. And I think loyalty, and I'm not the only one, is like literally the most admirable quality in a person. Not only that, but like that's what I want to be. Like if somebody ever accused me of not being loyal, that would rip my heart out of my chest, because I am. Like, if I am like, you're one of my people, like you're my person, I will let you, like I have a history of letting people walk all over me more than they should. You know, shame on me. Or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I gotta get fooled a couple times. But once, like, you really F up with me, excuse me, for me to turn my back on you, and then I'll still be loyal. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, no, I'm gonna call the cops, da 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 da. I will say, so nobody can try to come at me about it later, is that I have talked about these people probably on the internet multiple times in telling my story. Because I will say that if you are the bad guy in my story and I'm telling my story, I'm sorry that you were an asshole. That's your own fault. Because I'll tell you one thing right now, I ain't on the internet lying about nothing. I'm also not gonna like blast your name out there and then but I'll use fake names and stuff. Don't think you're that special. Nobody freaking cares about my life enough to go track you down. And I don't know, like nobody, you just shouldn't have been a douchebag. How about that? Sun's ready to come out tomorrow. Where is it? There you go. I can see it with my eyes, but not the camera. But find yourself a good loyal friend, and like your significant other too. Like, make sure you find someone that's loyal and that would make the same decisions that you would make. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that would always be the case, but if somebody's having to make decisions for you because you can't, like, if your spouse is not that person for you that could do that, then you need to do some evaluating. Because I know there's a lot of people that are married and they couldn't trust their significant other as far as they could throw them. And here's an example for that. So I go into a coma, and my old man, he don't like my mom, and they're at least gonna have to keep me in a coma for like 3 weeks, and only one person can go in there every day and hang out with me. And my mom lives down the road. Well, he decides, no, I don't want your mom to see you. I'm going to come see you every day. She can't come see you because he don't like my mom. Not because I, you know, not because I wouldn't want my mom in there. Like, he knows damn well I would. But he decides for me that she's not gonna get to come in. That's not cool. Don't pick somebody like that. Don't have that as your spouse. Your spouse needs to, you guys need to work on your shit if you have a spouse, and that's how you guys operate. I'm just saying. It is a gloomy day out here today. I decided not to walk in the mud. It was tempting, but at least we got some. But I need to remember to look at where I'm going and not at the camera all the time, because I'm going to harm myself. I'm supposed to be going live here in a little bit. I don't know what time it is. I have to check in a second. I'll forget though, it's fine. Here's this entrance. The Evergreen Cemetery in Ontario, Oregon. If anybody has anybody and you don't live here, but you have someone buried here, you want me to find them, clean their grave up, or take a picture, or even take like a, what's it called, an etching. I can get a piece of paper and lay it over the gravestone, and then use a pencil and transfer it without hurting it or anything. Super cool. I could do that for you. Totally would. Or any of the cemeteries in the area too. Check it out. This one's cool. McGregor. I know I'm not the only one that just thinks cemeteries are neato burrito. They're so cool. I took a video the other day when it wasn't all icky, like a slow motion one, driving back and forth all 3 rows of the cemetery. So I will definitely post that, and I'll try to post, I'll get a link to it set up in the comments if I can remember. Anybody remind me. Excuse me. I've got the stuffy news. There's my hat. I walked over here earlier and I dropped my freaking hat out of my pocket. Oh, where is it? What the hell? Can you see it? Oh yeah, it's way over there. Oh, it's got freaking hail all over it, boys, girls, and its, and theys, and thems, and somebody's pronoun the other day, they're like, it, and I was like, you know what, someone called me an it, I'd knock them out. Like, them's fighting words. Why would you want your pronoun to be it? I'm thinking, oh. It's a boy, it's a girl, it's a confused animal. Somebody yesterday said their dog was transgender. I'm like, come on. I love my trans friends. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just saying. Everybody let everybody do what they want, as long as they're not hurting other people. Floyd Adolf hate. No way, you guys. This guy's name is Adolf Hager. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking with fire. Got my hat on. The thing I really got wrong is I'm wearing Crocs and there's holes in them, but I had to put pants on. I was out here in a skirt because it got really nice out for a minute, and I was just gonna run to the store to get some cigarettes, but then I It's like, oh, it's kind of nice. I'll go walk around the cemetery. I meant to do that the other day, but I never went back. Since I'm right here, I thought, hey, why not, Tay? It'll be fun. And now it's hailing on me, but it's cool. I actually don't mind it at all because there ain't nobody else out here to bother me. I did do a no-no and I drank a soda. And I got yucky mouth. Not my favorite thing. Or if it's time for me to do my live. Ooh, it's just about time for my live. This is cool. It's raining, it's snowing. You'll be sorry. It's too bad, and he bumped his head and he can't get up in the morning. There's my piece of dirt. Piece of car. Let's go back over here. Ooh, it's thundering. I better put my selfie stick away. Do you ever listen to your teenager talk and not have any idea what they're talking about half the time?
Yeah, well, guess what? That's your fault.
I love her so much. She speaks gibberish.
Yeah, I do. I'm so angry right now. But at the same time, I'm oddly happy, but also a mix of overwhelming depression. They do this. Why would they make him do this? They're destroying his vocal cords. He already has to play 30,000 different characters in one show. But now he has to deal with his voice probably wanting to escape him. This is like back when I used to literally get so overstimulated that I was too busy kicking my feet for an hour and 30 minutes than actually turning on the video to watch the 15-minute video. But instead, it's of overwhelming disgust. My trans girl headcanon is just thrown out the window. My femboy headcanon also thrown out the window. My drag queen headcanon thrown out the window.
All of them, huh?
Yeah, all of them. All of them. I was kind of mad when they decided to give Lunar the voice of a middle-aged man who still hasn't gone through puberty. But I will not stand for that poor fucker to have that awful voice. Every single one of my headcanons thrown out the window. My casually wearing high heels headcanon thrown out the window.
I'm gonna color my hair red again. Just talk like that.
Because I'm angry. It ruins the whole aesthetic. At some point in my life, I wanted to draw that silly gal. Now, I don't even want to listen to its voice. So, like, at least I could ignore that. I could still listen to the video. With this, it's like my ears are being slowly shredded.
That's why I tell you to stop learning so much about those people, because they're gonna disappoint you every time.
Yeah, of course they're gonna disappoint me. And poor fucking Reed, dude, his voice. Before, all he had to do was breathe. He had to only breathe into his mic. He didn't have to, like, what the fuck? I was hoping that maybe they could get the only woman voice actor on the team to maybe voice act Frank. Frank. I don't even know anymore. But now, that's just ruined.
All her plans are wrecked.
Yeah, all of my plans are wrecked. He sounds awful. It's so bad, dude. What the I know it was Davis's decision. I don't care that I was trying to forgive him. What he did to that poor creature's voice is unacceptable. I want to see how he likes it, having to do this voice.
I can do this.
For an hour. Stop.
I'm not. I just said I can make that noise.
Yeah.
For that maybe the ring.
For like 30 minutes of recording. 30 minutes of recording and not being allowed to gag, sneeze, or cough.
What? I'm already gonna have to edit the F word out about 900 times.
Yeah, you are.
It's a pimple off my face. It was a tiny pimple, so I picked it into a huge one.
You're talking about pimples? You're talking about pimples when I'm talking about my headcanons being thrown out the window and stomped on, butt crushed by the most...
Talking like that.
No!
Yes.
You're the one who chose to record.
Even if I'm not recording, you need to stop talking like that.
Why? Huh?
Because it's ugly. It's ugly.
Yeah, and I'm ugly, so what's the difference?
No, you're not. You're beautiful.
Are you ill? Are you severely disabled? Are you so
I'm
disabled
not.
that we need to put you in a mental institution?
I mean, maybe.
Obviously you are. My face!
Oh, stop it. You're beautiful.
My face!
Is beautiful.
God.
No, you don't.
I
No, you don't. No, you don't.
don't.
You're beautiful.
That's like calling Kiefer calm. That's like calling Kiefer not a mistake.
Let's stop that.
He made me spell you clean it up.
No floor pooping.
Mm.
No floor pooping.
Dreading have to unpause this video.
I love you.